भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम करुणावरुणालय पालय माम् भवसागरदुःखविदूनहृदं रचयाखिलदर्शनतत्त्वविदं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। ओम समस्त ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्योभ्यो नमः ऋषिभ्यो नमः मुनिभ्यो नमः गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री अथर्वऋषे नमः मंडूक महर्षे नमः। ओम श्री गौडपाद सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम श्री आद्यशंकर सद्गुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अथ अथर्ववेदान्तर्गतमाण्डूक्योपनिषद शांति मंत्रः। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षवीर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम अथ श्री आद्यशङ्कराचार्य विरचित मङ्गलश्लोकद्वयम्। ओम प्रज्ञानां सुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिगरव्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पुनरभिधिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः। माया संख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि। यो विश्वात्मा विदिज विषयान् प्राश्य भोगान् स्थविष्टान् पश्चाच्चान्यान् स्वमतिविभवान् ज्योतिषास्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरभिशनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगणगुणः पात्वनस्तौ नस्तुरीयः। ओम ओमित्येतदक्षरमिदगं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं भूतं भवद्भविष्यदिति सर्वमोङ्कार एव। यच्चान्यत्रिकालातीतं तदप्योङ्कार एव। सर्वं हि एतद् ब्रह्म अयमात्मा ब्रह्म सोऽयमात्मा चतुष्पात् जागरितस्थानः बहिष्प्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुक् वैश्वानरः प्रथमपादः स्वप्नस्थानः अन्तःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः प्रविविक्तभुक् तैजसः द्वितीयपादः। यत्र सुप्तो न कंचन कामं कामयते यत्र कंचन स्वप्नं पश्यते तत्सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तस्थानः एकीभूतः प्रज्ञानघन एव आनन्दमयो हि आनन्दभुक् चेतोमुखः प्राज्ञः तृतीयः पादः। ईश सर्वेश्वरः ईश सर्वज्ञः ईशोऽन्तर्यामी एष योनिः सर्वस्य प्रभवाप्यौ हि भूतानां नान्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नोभयतः प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारं प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तं शिवम् अद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः। सोऽयमात्मा अधि अक्षरम् ओङ्कारः अधिमात्रं पादामात्राः मात्राश्च पादाः अकार उकारो मकार इति जागरितस्थानः वैश्वानरः अकारः प्रथमा मात्रा आप्तेः आदिमत्वात् वा आप्नोति ह वै सर्वान् कामान् आदिश्च भवति। य एवं वेद स्वप्नस्थानः तैजसः उकारः द्वितीया मात्रा उत्कर्षादुभयत्वाद्वा उत्कर्षति ह वै ज्ञानसन्ततिं समानश्च भवते न अस्य ब्रह्मवित्कुले भवति। य एवं वेद सुषुप्तस्थानः प्राज्ञः मकारः तृतीया मात्रा मितेः अभीतेः वा मिनोति ह वा इदगं सर्वम् अभेदिश्च भवति। य एवं वेद अमात्रः चतुर्थः अव्यवहार्यः प्रपञ्चोपशमः शिवः अद्वैतः एवं ओङ्कारः आत्मा एव संविशति आत्मना आत्मानं। य एवं वेद य एवं वेद। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। श्री भाष्यकाराणां मंगल श्लोक त्रयम्। ॐ अजमपि जनियोगं प्रापदैश्वर्ययोगात् अगति जगतिमत्तां प्रापदेकं ह्यनेकं विविधविषयधर्मग्राहिमुग्धे क्षणानां प्रणतभयविनिहन्तृब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि प्रज्ञावैशाखवेदक्षुभितजलनिधेः वेदनाम्नोऽन्तरस्थं भूतान्यालोक्यमज्ञानि अविरतजननग्राहघोरे समुद्रे कारुण्यादुद्धधारामृतमिदमरैः दुर्लभं भूतहेतोः यस्तं पूज्याभिपूज्यं परमगुरुममं पादपातैर्नतोऽस्मि यत्प्रज्ञालोकभासा प्रतिहति भगवत् स्वान्तमोहान्धकारः मज्जोन्मज्जश्च घोरैः असकृत् उपजनोदन्वतित्रासने मे यत्पादावाश्रितानां श्रुतिशमविनयप्राप्तिरग्राह्यमोघा तत्पादौ पावनीयौ भवभयविनुदौ सर्वभावैर्नमस्ये इति अथर्ववेदान्तर्गतमाण्डुक्योपनिषद ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ अलातशान्त्याख्यं चतुर्थं प्रकरणम्. Let us salute on this beautiful Sri Ramanavami day Bhagavan Sri Rama, who is none other than Parabrahma, none other than Ishvara, none other than the Dharma Samsthavaka Avatara, who is available to everyone at whatever the level they want. Let us do namaskara to also all the Rishimunis, all the Gurus, Advaita Acharyas, Devatas, especially our Atharva Rishi, Manduka Rishi, Gauda Rishi, Adya Shankara Rishi, and our Gurus. Let us salute our Shruti Mata also. And only when we deeply salute them in that mood of innocence, that they give a special strength to us, which is very essential. That strength is the desire to come out of the desires. That strength is to desire only for the truth, and the strength to pursue the desire of seeking the truth so scrupulously, seriously, diligently at every cost and every payment. Without the krupa of the entire Guru Parampara and Bhagwan, with all the information gathered, with all the classes attended, with all the familiarities gained with the goal and the path, with all the textbooks studied, yet the beginning will not happen in us. We continue to be liking to be a jiva with the identity with the upadhis, taking Jagra Swapna Sushupti alone as real and trying to eke out small little happinesses in them only. And the danger of this Maya is so much that with all these regular studies, still when we are asked to therefore seek the truth, only give up everything, we get so much threatened as if and frightened that we say, no, 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 I am only there for the class to gather information. I don't know, I can't do it. I'll continue to be Jiva only, and I can't miss all the Sukha Bhoga of this world, and I don't know. I just listen. This is how the Maya works in us so deeply that with all the hundreds of lives listening Shastra also, still we may not get inclined to seek the truth at every cost, because seeking the truth is at every cost. That everything other than that we have to forego, we have to give up. But unless that readiness comes, we will not be able to sincerely, seriously sit on the dhyana sthiti or do the adhyatmic sadhana for the result. In fact, that moment or that day where we have consciously, deeply said to ourselves that enough of it, I have seen all this, no more of this. I want exclusively Paramatma. For that, any effort required, I will do. Any understanding required, I gain. Everything to anything to be given up, I will give up. When that day happens, in fact, that day the Gurus and Bhagavan, all of them have blessed us. The true seeker is born in us. You can celebrate that days Ram Navami, Janmashtami, Shivaratri, Guru Purnima. Any of the festival is that festival at individual level. Total level festival is celebrated for anybody to unite in the on the name of the Lord. So today is Sri Ramanavami, that way greetings to all of us. But mainly, let us seek the blessings. Oh Lord, this heart of mine, mind of mine, not it is understanding the truth and its glory, not getting convinced about it, nor it is seeking that only exclusively. Still, there are the deeply rooted identities with the upadhis, Deeply rooted expectations of the Sukha from the world through Upadi are there. Oh Lord, do something, whatever is required possible, and remove that. That removal of the deep rooted desire for anything other than Paramatma is called as Shuddha Antakarana. That Shuddha Antakarana will seek only Bhagavan at every moment, in every place, at every situation. Such and such alone will, in the positive side, gather the subtleties of all the Antakarana. Then he will be understanding Shastra, he will understanding the implication of Shastra, he will understand the examples, the logics, and not only understanding, he is truly pursuing it. He himself will swim across all these lower layers and reach to the core, the jewel, the self. Like you are listening yesterday in Bhagavad Purana, last few slokas of 21st chapter, how it was said, ki these Veda mantras, Durvigyahyam, Anantabharam, Akshobhyam, Samudravatu, Shabda Brahma, is it not? How it was so exhaustively explained. You know that Anantagaram, Gambhiram, Durvigahyam is the Shabda Brahma because we are so much non-equipped because of our impurity in us. But all the impurities are removed, we become purest. This ocean of Veda we can study, the ocean of samsara we can cross, the ocean of bliss of Atmananda we can gain. So maybe every day in the morning spend these 2 hours for exclusively study the Adhyatma Shastra and empower ourselves in our inclination for becoming deeply spirit oriented, spiritual oriented, self oriented. Let us do it is like a duty. Let us do it like an offering to the Lord. Let us do it like a discipline. Let us do it like a compulsion, but let us do. Never ever a day till we die or realize the self. A day should pass where before 9 a.m. we are not studying our Vedanta Shastra, we are not doing our meditation. Pakka, aisa niyam banao, then all the kachra that is en route there, all the weaknesses, all the inabilities, all the doubts, all the non-positive cravings, seekings, they all slowly start going away. Night before we sleep, we say, tomorrow morning the first job is studying Upanishad. Morning we get up, we say, morning I study Upanishad, but throughout the day I'll revel only in the theme of the Upanishad. In this way, when we go on making a healthy spiritual habit to us, only then that we'll be able to focus more and more on sadhana. Then only the glimpses will come, the subtlety will come, the expanse will come, will happen, the understanding becomes undoubted. Or else what? Our job is like any chuha belly, tries to eat something but still afraid but goes somewhere else. In the same way, try to study Shastra but we are afraid that we may miss the world, therefore we leave the Shastra, go into the world. This is how we will be doing none of these things, neither serving world, nor succeeding in life, nor excelling in spirituality. Maybe not be so. So, having on this Ramanavami day shared these important thoughts that how we have to prepare ourselves, let's enter into this Mandukya, Karikas, the fourth Alat Shanti Prakaranam is these most crucial shlokas. Let us chant these shlokas 89-90. Again, will not explain to you, but only last sentence we say. Then we start studying from the 91 onwards. So, Jnane Chatrividhe Gneye क्रमेण विदिते स्वयं सर्वज्ञता हि सर्वत्र भवतीह महाधियः हेयज्ञेयाप्यपाख्यानि विज्ञेयान्यग्रयाणतः तेषाम् अन्यत्र विज्ञेयात् उपलम्भस्त्रिषु स्मृतः. So in this mantra, this first line we have exhaustively studied. Heya, Gneya, Apya, Pakya. These are all Agrayanata, first and most Vignayani, it must be thoroughly understood. Then, when it is said it is Heya, you give it up. When it is Vigneya or Gneya, you must know. When it is said it is Apya, you gather them. When you say Pakya, unko pura, galakar, dissolve them by heating them under the sadhana of tapasya. With the help of tapasya sadhana, just melt them because anything exposed to heat, either it gets boiled and gets dissolved or it gets heated up and gets evaporated. So, too, on the heat of tapasya, these paktavya durgunas of raga, dvesha, moha ityadi, we have to gullify them. The heat of tapasya. At any cost, I will be free from even a iota of raga, or dvesha, or kama, krodha towards anything. Let me see how I will not achieve. I will achieve. Whatever sacrifice I have to do, I will do. Even if I have to give up my body, I will give up. But I will rise above these things. And what is to be done for that? Intensify sadhana, intensify study, intensify upasana, fill the whole day with only spiritual activities. Find the faults with all the raga, tvesha, mohadi. Don't go to those places where they are increasing. These are all the heating up process of the tapasyas in which these raga, dvesha start going. If that is not done, they just grow themselves from within. Oh, बढ़ते जाएंगे. You are seeing the world. You are not spiritual, so world is chanting, enchanting, and wonderful. So the raga created, anybody disturbs that, the dvesha created, it goes on. So the paktavyan is very essential कि उनको गला देना है हमको उस heat में या evaporate करना है. One day should come in our life when we look into ourselves and remember the millions of things and beings and everything. Towards none of them we have raga, nor we have dvesha. Nor we have a moha regarding what's our goal. Goal cannot be anything other than Paramatma Prapti. The moment anything other than Paramatma is goal, you are in delusion. That was Arjuna. Arjuna's delusion was to win the war or to lose the war. Bhagavan said both of them are wrong. The goal is only Paramatma. He indicated that you discover the self, these are all means. Everything is means. Goal is Paramatma. If that is not understood, we take the means as goal, then they are not the goal. Therefore, it is always disappointing only. So, in this way, Raga, Dvesha, Mohadi, Paktavyani, Pakyani. Okay? First line said. Now, second one is what? Very important, very essential. We have to keep in mind to not only answer the Purvapakshis, but for our own conviction. That is what in these four, other than the Vigneya Brahma Vastu, the other three, the Heya, the three avasthas, the Apya, all these Balya, Mauna, Panditya, the Pakya, the Moha, Raga, Dvesha, they are all Upalambaha. Upalamba means they are Avidya Kalpita. And those Avidya Kalpita, we are only using for our sadhana to reach to the Gneya Vastu only. Other than that, oh, my dear Purvapakshi, we ourselves are not valuing them as reality, therefore we need not answer you. They are all used as catalysts, as a means for us to push into Atma Vastu, but other than that, they are also in the Upalambha only. Upalambha is Vyavahara. Upalamba is only for some sadhana purpose they are used. They are not given reality or value. Because other than that, there is no way to remove all these layers of ignorance or maya to reach out to the self. That way only we are using. We are not giving a Paramartha Satta to them. In our understanding, Paramartha Satta, the supreme truth reality is only that Ekameva Dvayam Brahma. Therefore, when we are reaching to those portals, all these things, including the satsangas, including all sadhanas we did, including the study of Shastra, including even Shravana Mananam, including the one whom we considered as Guru, even the Paramatma, even every one of them are dropped. Because in the pure Brahma Tattva, none of them are there nor required. And they have to be dropped also to experience it. So we have no doubt about it. That point is said, and we have to carry it right from the beginning. Like we said you one day, anywhere you are entering, we must first to see the exit. So whenever the need or chance comes to exit, you have to exit. So in the beginning only we must know that all these sadhanas have to be must and should be done to reach to the goal. But as we are reaching to the goal, every sadhana should be given up or transcended also. That's the very interesting paradox of Gita. Up to 65 verse of 18th chapter from chapter 1, Bhagavan said, follow dharma, follow dharma, follow dharma. When the 66th sloka came, he said, Sarva dharman parityaja. Is it not? The Guru also says, hold on to me, hold on to the discipline here, hold on to your curriculum of the daily schedule here. Keep on doing. When the paripakvata of entire sadhana happens in the Guru, in the disciple, Guru says, leave the ashram, leave me, leave all the process, revel only in yourself. Because to revel in the self, even these things also are obstruction. At that highest level. Till we reach that level, these are the only means. If you leave these means, there are no other means. So we go in the wrong means towards the wrong goal. So in this clarity, we have to be. So therefore, my dear Purvapakshi, your doubt that these three avasthas have to be rejected by being Sakshi to them. Therefore, these avasthas are accepted by you, O Advaita Vedantin. Then you accept, where is your Advaita? Then you have fallen to our level Dvaita. He said, no, 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 no. These are all the things you and I are experiencing at this level. Therefore, from there only, from the known only, the unknown is known. There's no language especially for the unknown. From the known only, we transcend into that. Therefore, we are using only it. We are not giving reality to them. It is not that Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti avasthas are real, that we have to transcend them to know the truth. They are experienced now. Now, to experience the self, they being the obstruction, to transcend them, we are saying that let us practice the Drashta and Sakshi Bhava to them. Once we discover the Sakshi Drashta Bhava and discover our own self, they are not there. In the same way, this Panditya, Balya, Maunakhyani, the Mauna at the level of Indriyas, the Balya at the mind level of devotion and surrender, Panditya at the level intellectual. They are all only the vehicles for us to be exclusively seeking the self. But as we reach there, the no Panditya of theoretical knowledge required for the self. The no Balya of the surrender required. No Mauna of the withdrawal of the senses, because in that there are no object, there are no senses to perceive or to be perceived. There's no doubt at all about it. And then these raga dvesha are valid only in the world of duality, only at the level of stupid mind. When the self is discovered, there is no duality. Then towards whom we will have raga, towards we will have dvesha. Only when our intellects are clouded by raga dvesha, that we are deluded, mohita, because exactly what to do, what not to do, we will not know. We will be doing things biased or colored by the raga dvesha. See the Arjuna, he was having dvesha toward Duryodhanadi. Therefore, he was hesitant to fight the war. Then again, he had the raga towards Bhishma Drona. Then also, he doesn't want to fight the war. Dvesha towards Duryodhana, he came to fight, not for dharma sthapana. When then raga for Bhishma Drona, then he said, I will not fight. How can I kill them? Bhagavan said, fighting, not fighting, winning, not winning is not primary. Primary is freedom from raga dvesha. Once you have won raga dvesha, we have won the war already. This is a spiritual outlook. In the same way, if we have eliminated our negativities from inside, we have achieved what we have come here to this world to achieve. इन भूलोक में हम आए सिर्फ अपने राग द्वेष रूपी दुर्गुणों को निकालकर शुद्ध अंतःकरण से देखना. When the अंतःकरण शुद्ध and look from that standpoint, what you see is Bhagavan only. Because he alone is there everywhere. And who is making Bhagavan to appear as a world of duality of something good, something bad? Your own raga dvesha. In the truth, they are not there. So we transcend them also. So this is how Bhagavan, Bhashakara, Karikakara are telling not only to Purva Pakshi, but all of us also, whatever you are holding as sadhana, please be ready. One day you have to leave it also. Like we are doing study of Upanishads. One day we have to leave it. We have to be independent in doing the study of text at our own home. After catching the theme, one day even study also we have to leave to enter into contemplation. After a certain time, through contemplation, when the conviction is very pakka and strong and doubtless, to experience that, to abide in that, even that vicharana contemplation also is obstruction, because it keeps you only at the level of intellect. इस तरह से सब त्याग कर ही भगवान को हम पा सकते हैं. So that's what is the second line's meaning. Yasya mumukshoho evam, no, sorry. Tesham means heyadinam. In those four things, we listen carefully. Second line, Bhashya, Vistade Visa. Again, I am just referring so that we conclude it satisfactorily. Tesham means Eyadinam, among those four, Eyagneya Apyavakya, Anyatra Vigneyat. Other than the second one, there is called as Gneya, it's called Vigneya. Anyatra Vigneyat means other than the Vigneya. Now, what is Vigneya Vastu? What is the thing to be known? Paramartha Satyam is the Vigneya. Now, Paramartha Satya Vigneyam, that Paramartha Satyam is talked as what in Vedas, Vedanta? Brahma. Are they Brahma too? Question 1. Are you and Brahma different? Question 2. For both of them, the answer is no. Then what is the answer? Brahmas are not two, it is Ekam. And me and Brahma are not separate, Ekam. Therefore, Aham Brahmasmi is the meaning of this. That is a Gneyam. And this Gneyam is not that I am Jnata, it is Gneyam and I am having the Jnanam of it. It is I am that. Therefore, specifically is day. And this is Paramartha Satyam, is absolute truth. You are only living in the untruth of you being a separate person from Paramatma, and you see the Jagat also other than Paramatma, and you forget the Paramatma, and you are living with the Jagat in such a manner as if these two are real. This is called illusion, this is called ignorance, this is called samsara. Actually, in the Paramartha Satya, only Parabrahma is there. That Parabrahma is Ekameva Advayam. That Ekata Parabrahma is with me also. Therefore, I am that Parabrahma. This is Paramartha Satya. This is to be experienced. So, this experienceable Ekameva Advayam Parabrahma Vastu, which is Paramartha Satya, which is the second point among those four, which is called as Gneya there. All other three. First one, the Heya. Third one, the Apya. Fourth one, Pakya. What about their position? Upalambaha means Upalambanam. Upalambaha means what? They are all avidya, kalpana, matra. They are all X factors to know the solution in the mathematics. Thereafter, X is thrown. At no point X is valuable or important, but it is used only as the problem is given in the mathematics to sort it out. Kaho ki number of fruits is called X. Then that's how it is. And finally, you know the truth. The X is dropped. Listen carefully this one. This is what Upalambaha means Upalambanam means what? Avidya Kalpana Matram. Means what? You as a sadhaka or jiva in the samsara level, you have done them kalpana and you took them as a reality. We are using them to reach to the reality. At the time of reality, so spashta that all of them are only kalpana matra. And unfortunately, like we gave the example, like the buffalo or the cow, when it has to be woken up from its sitting place, uthana hai, so you have to untie the knot. The knot which is not there, but you have made it as if act. So you, the seeker or the samsari, made the snooze as if appear. When you make, though there is no rod, there is no thread or rope, still you act like that. Then the buffalo understands that mere ko bandh diya, wo baith jata. So you all are like that. Shishya ko guru bata rahe. Now what I am doing is untying. Untying is as untrue as tying. If the tying is true, untying is true. If the tying is untrue, untying also untrue. But it serves purpose. In the earlier purpose, for you, it served the purpose of binding you to samsara. In the second case, I am using the untying aspect only to help you to come out of samsara. It is serving my purpose of teaching you. What is that? All these Eya, Apya, Pakya. But they are all avidya, kalpana matram. To get out of avidya, they are used, they are not like all the winds are used only to throw away the clouds. They are not there to create the sun. The sun is always there. Because the clouds are there, the wind is required. Who brought the clouds? Wind only brought. Somewhere कोई हवा आकर वो clouds को ले आया and you are not able to see the sun. Then the clouds removed by the winds, you see the sun. So the wind is our own maya or avidya. Clouds are the heya apya pakya. They are obstructing us, Paramatma. Then the wind of wisdom we bring and throw them away, you see the sun direct. So therefore, anything in Paramatma Tattva other than him, no thing is there. Once we come down from it at one step, invoke the Maya Shakti, then everything is possible, and in that everything there is infinite possibilities are there. Therefore, there is no Ascharya for a Vedanti when in the empirical or Vyavahara level, very many wonders are happening continuously. At the very micro level, at the individual level, at the macro level, at the total level, even at the astral level, anywhere anything happens, a Vedanti is not disturbed because he knows in Maya anything can happen. And yet in Paramatma, this thing is not happening. Interesting. That's what is the subtlety, which is very tough to gain. Like in a space, a flight is moving. So that is seen by you. Then in the Maya, a flight is created and then it is being driven by that plywood, it goes. But in the Vedanta Drushti, what is there in every aspect of the flight there? Nothing but the space. Is it not? Then can the space move in the space? Are there two spaces that one is stationary, in the other one is moving in that? Therefore, from the flight standpoint, in the space, the flight is moving. But from the space standpoint, there is no two space, that the original space and the flight is moving in that. So when the drishti becomes so subtle, there is no flight, there is no movement. Because every aspect of flight is space only. And space is all pervading, is one without second. There is no place it is not there. There was no movement at all. And yet, from the space only, the flight will come. The flight which came from the space moves in the space only. In the same way, the space is called our Chidakash. The flight is the jiva and is all activities. Movement is in the consciousness only. So when you give importance to the upadhis, in the consciousness, we are moving from one place to other, one janma to the other, one activity to the other, one sukha, dukkha to the another one. But in the jiva, the paramartha tattva is discovered. That paramartha tattva is always all pervading. In that there is no movement possible. There is no movement needed. But it सबको click नहीं होता. But understanding that ultimate is the spirituality. In this world, everything is happening, yet no thing is happening. That's called karmani akarmaya pashyed akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manusheshu sayuktaha krishna karma krit. The 18th mantra of 4th chapter of Gita. Very sublime they are all. So, upalambaha means what? It is avidya janita and you are bound by them. We are using it to transcend them to reach Paramatma, to get you the vidya. Other than that, these three are not given Paramartha Satta. The Heya Apya Pakya. They don't have doubt. Therefore, Heya Apya Pakyeshu Trishu Apihi Upalambaha Sprutaha Brahma Vidbihi. Means what? Na Paramartha Satyata Trayana iti artha. In the supreme truth, they are not there and they are not supremely true. They are only avidya kalpita upalambanam. Anytime such a doubt comes, remember that example of the cow, bull, or buffalo tied and untied. Entire spirituality is undoing what is done. When the undoing is done of what is done, what is there always is revealed. That thing which is there always is never disappearing. The self never becomes anything else, nor it disappears, nor it goes anywhere. Like where can the space go? For the space to go, there must be a space. It's already space. Space cannot go anywhere. There is no place where it is not there. But space is a concept of the mind, therefore it goes into the mind in the sleep. You don't have the concept of space in the nidra. You are in the east or west or north or south or up or niche, or you are sleeping India or America, Japan. You don't have any concept of space in nidra because there is no mind. That way the space enters into the mind in nidra. Otherwise, in the Jagrata Avastha, the space cannot go anywhere. Same way, where will the self go? It cannot go anywhere because there is no place where it is not. नहीं है तो जाएंगे ना वहाँ. तो ना मॉडिफाई होगा, ना कहीं जाएगा, ना लुप्त हो जाएगा. ये है, वो हमेशा है. Then what's happening is only layers of ignorance they are removed. But with this, we have explained this 89 mantra thoroughly to the extent we could do. But these are the mantras to be repeatedly memorized. Like to invoke the grace of the Lord, we do the repetition of that upasana, that bhajana, that japa or kirtana. So too, for getting convinced and be on the meditational seat to realize self, these two mantras have to be repeatedly studied every day. Don't allow the lower mind to overpower. Why should we chant it every day? Boring. तो याद तो आ गया ना. No. Use the higher intellect to say no. I have to be convinced about it. I have to make this alone as the means. Through this means, I have to reach the ultimate goal. Therefore, these mantras are so important every day. Though I have by hearted a mantra, though I know the meaning of it, still the meaning is not so appealing to me that I have to do sadhana. Therefore, I have to daily remember. इस तरह से अपने आप को समझाकर डेली याद करने वाले श्लोक है ये. Yeah. Now let us Paramarthatah tu. Now the Paramartha vastus Paramarthatva. The absolute nature of the absolute truth, the self. The Gneya vastu or the Vigneya vastu. What about it? Now these 3-4 slokas are something very deep, sublime. Unless we deeply focus and try to understand and want to understand, we will not catch, even intellectually. बट ऑल व्हाट वी स्टडी लास्ट 1 year, द मांडुक्य इज ओनली इंटेलेक्चुअल। हाँ, इसमें से कुछ भी हमने साधना स्टार्ट नहीं किया, अब करना पड़ेगा सेकंड राउंड में। Anyway, what is the chanting shloka? प्रकृत्याकाशवज्ञेयाः सर्वे धर्मा अनादयः विद्यते न हि नानात्वं तेषां क्वचन किञ्चन। प्रकृत्याकाशवज्ञेयाः सर्वे धर्मा अनादयः विद्यते न हि नानात्वं तेषां क्वचन किञ्चन। So first we see literal meaning, then bhashya. So dharmaha. Here dharmaha means one self only, but now we are seeing so many jivas, they are many. So from the many standpoint of jiva whom we are seeing now, the dharmaha is given the plural word. Otherwise, there are not many, it is one only. So dharmaha means the selves in every being. So myself is my dharma, your self is your dharma, her self is her dharma, his self is his dharma. Therefore, how many they are? Four. As if at the time of study, because we are considering ourselves to be different from each other, four. When each one's dharma is found, it is found to be one only. वो तो बात की बात है. So sarve dharma, huh? So the selves in every being. Though grammatically, language wise, it is right, but absolutely it is not right. Because there are no selves so many in every of the being. है तो एक ही है. But बताने के वास्ते सर्वे धर्मा mean the selves in all jiva bhavas, or all the selves in every jiva or being. What is that? Prakrutya, we attend to by nature. Akashavatu, they are like Akasha. Because there is no other example jitna भी ढूंढे other than Akasha we can use to explain what self is like. No another example. You have to tell another self only as an example for the self. If you try other than that, what example can be given is Akashavatu. That's why in every of the Shastra, any of the Upanishad, everywhere, somewhere or the other, the comparison of Paramatma Tattva with the Akasha comes. Because of the Lakshanas of the Akasha, we see. What is that? It is infinite. It contains everything. And everything which contains, it contains, have come from it only. And all the things which are contained in the space, which have come from the space, don't touch the space at all. And space is not conditioned by them. And one day, all that are hanging in space have to dissolve to become one with the space. It may take aliens, millions of years, like the earth. कितना है इसका? लाख हजार साल बोलेंगे. अब कितना लगेगा आगे? इट मे लिव फॉर वन मोर 10,000 lakhs of years. Okay, but उसके बाद where will it go? It will have to dissolve and enter into space. Like that, hundreds, millions of galaxies are born every moment. At the same time, many are dissolving to become one. Like how many leaves are coming to every tree, any tree, how many trees, and how many leaves are getting dried up, fall on the ground and merging in the earth. How much of water is sucked by the sun from the ocean, and how much of the rains are coming from the sky onto the earth or the ocean. तो निरंतर चल रहा है इस सृष्टि में. In my own body now at this very moment, hundreds and thousands of cells are getting died also. Same time, so many cells are born. ये लगातार चलते ही रहते हैं. There's no end. In the same way, everything which is coming from the space enter into the space is a final. So in this way, space becomes the nearest example for the self. Space is infinite also, all pervading also. Space cannot be conditioned actually as up or low or east or west or north or south. These are all our conveniences. But in the space, there are no directions. You cannot measure the space. Is it not? You cannot weigh the space measuring in terms of weight, in terms of length, in terms of breadth, in terms of its shape. Yeah, it's a conical or it's a diagonal or it is a circular or rectangular or square type or shadbhuja, ashtabhuja, dashabhuja. What is the shape of the space? So too you cannot smell it, taste it, touch it. You can't think about it, you can't catch it with the karmendriyas. Is it not? टेस्ट करो स्पेस का, स्मेल करो, देखो आंखों से, सुनो कान से. You can't do that. Space you can't touch also. गरम लगता है तो हवा है वो, स्पेस नहीं हो. So it is not caught by ज्ञानेन्द्रिया, not by कर्मेंद्रिया, nor can be conceptualized that way, but made as a concept. ये भी है, सब कुछ है, किसमें है, स्पेस में है. This is here itself you can understand that subtle thing. Space is there, then only all things are there. That we know, but what is space you can't know. That's why they say Avakasha, the Akasha. That which space gives space to everything else to exist is called as space. You can't catch it. You can't, and you can't carry it in the bag also. यहाँ से उधर ले गए. See, when you bring a pot or bottle from one place to another, empty one, inside that space only. Now, what is happening to the space inside when you are bringing the pot from there to the here? Pot is moving, but is the space moving inside? If you meditate on that, you know the nature of self slowly. क्या हो रहा है actually वहाँ? What is moving? What is not moving? In the pot there was space. You brought pot from there to here. Then did you bring the space also? If you bring it, where do you keep? Because wherever you come or bring the pot, space is already there. तो फिर ये स्पेस के ऊपर इस स्पेस को बैठा हो तो दोनों फिर वो क्या कहते हो, चिपक जाएंगे, पिचक जाएंगे, वॉट एवर यू से. This is what the mind blowing contemplate. When you do it, then some things which are subtle they get revealed to us. Then same is like this self. You understand. That is why prakrutya akashavat jneyaha sarve dharmaha and then anadayaha, and they are all adinahita and therefore antarahita. Therefore, in between modification rahita. The example, remember the thickness of the clouds hiding as the sun or even the space. So to the thickness of ignorance, and ignorance created three avasthas, and delusion created identification with these three avasthas is not allowing us to understand the obvious Paramatma Vastu. Paramatma is so obvious, so real, so near. It is me. Yet, the cloud of ignorance from where these three avasthas have come, and we are identified or with so much with them that we are not able to see the self which is everywhere there. It's so obvious, like a person is in front of me. So I see a man or woman in him or in them, in that person, and then friend or enemy, or useful or useless, or good or bad, or intelligent or stupid, or the leader or dealer. When I see so many things in that person, when will I see the Paramatma in him? Whereas in every part and parcel of that person, whether it is Stula Sharira or Sukshma or Karana, what is there is Paramatma only. But we don't see because we are seeing else something else. So how to do? How to see Paramatma then? Any other thing other than Paramatma, the concepts, we have to drop them. But how difficult it is? And that's what in a silent chambers, those rishis or sadhakas keep on practicing. But they reject their upadhi, they discover the self. Then they understand everything in this world is Paramatma only, seen through the upadhi as some or the other thing. I'll devalue the upadhi, see Paramatma. Such people only are seeing the world, but not the world. They are seeing only God. उनको कहो आप क्या देख रहे हो? कहते परमात्मा ही है। और हमको कहो क्या देख रहे हो? मैं तो ऑल सन, मून, स्टार, ओशन, पीपल, एवरीथिंग आई एम सीइंग। आई एम सीइंग एवरीथिंग अदर देन गॉड, ही इज सीइंग नथिंग अदर देन गॉड। The thickness of the layers of ignorance and insistences are removed by him. We have not removed. We are insisting the world, devaluing the Paramatma. He will insist Paramatma and devalue the world. World is illusory and real. Paramatma is real. What he is doing is right. What we are doing is wrong. Therefore, he is happy. We are miserable. Who? The Jnani who rejected Upadhis and seeing Paramatma exclusively. So, prakrutya akashavat jneyaha sarve dharmaha, and they are all anadayaha. So, in you and me, what that one Vishnu is there, one Narayana is there, one Shiva is there, one Paramatma is there, he is like the space one without second, and all the qualities what we said. Then the second line says, Vidyate nahi nanatvam tesham kvachana kinchana. Kvachana, by any means or any direction, at any place in any condition. Kinchana means even an iota. Neither an iota of difference in any of the condition is there in that the dharmas. Dharmas कहते पहले plural में कहा, but when you absolutely analyze and experience it, it is one only. And in that one, from that standpoint, nanatva cannot be there at any time, at any situation, even little also. Means not even little nanatva is there means what? Other than it, there is nothing. Other than the pure, conscious, blissful self, there is nothing at all. So this is what is the truth we have to experience. And this is what is the truth, we have to believe it to experience it. प्रकृत्या आकाशवत ज्ञेयाः सर्वे धर्माः अनादयः. Then vidyate nahi nanatvam. See, na vidyate and na hi vidyate. Verily, indeed, by any means, in that dharma, which is like Akasha, absolute truth, nanatvam kinchana kvachana na vidyate. See how much he must have refined his whole perceiving instruments and antakarana, that is rejecting to see any nanatva in the Paramatma. Only him and him and him and him alone. Just like a kami, whatever he says, it is kami vastu. A bhogi sees only bhogya vastu. A dhanika sees only dhana vastu. A person of power wants to be powerful to dominate everyone. He doesn't see who is the people around. He will try to order them dominate only. Other fellow who is always cranky, angry, wherever he goes, he carries that only and creates trouble or fighting with others. So, in a positive manner, a bhakta with his practice, he is rejecting to accept the presence of anything other than Ishtadeva Sri Rama. Jai Sri Ram. Today is Ram Navami. So, to a Vedanti, listen, with many lives of study of Vedanta Shastra, under the able guidance of the Guru, is understanding the position of all the Nama Rupatmakata to be only Abhasa. Then only the Alatha Rupi Paramatma Tattva only true and real. He has come to that conviction. Remember, other than the deep contemplation, this conviction will not come, and contemplation should always be based on the logic and the Shastra Jnana. So उपनिषद ज्ञान के आधार पर करने वाले विचारणा से ही ये जो बात पक्का समझ में आता है, जहां truth and truth and truth, self and self and self alone is real, on that nothing is there. If at all is there, in the ignorance of truth you are projecting it, like a one who has seen the rope as rope. No part of this particular thing is anything other than the rope, come what may. Then if somebody says snake, what will he say? He is in delusion, he is in confusion, he is caught up in his own mind's whims. अगर पक्का 100% ये रस्सी है, तो देखो फ्रॉम हिज स्टैंड पॉइंट देयर इज नो चांस फॉर एनीथिंग एल्स टू बी देयर इन द रोप. गुंजाइश ही नहीं है कहते हैं उसको, चांस ही नहीं है, इम्पॉसिबल. Come what may, in the rope you can never have snake, can't have garland or anything. In the same way, in the absolute truth, other than it, there can't be anything. Possibly nahi hai. At that level of Ajatavada, the Karika Kara, Bhashakara are seated and they are telling. And we have to travel all this distance of zero information about that Paramatma and 100% pakka caught up in these three worlds as real. Jagra, Swapna, Sushupta. यहाँ से वहाँ हमको ट्रैवल करना है, एंड दिस ट्रैवल इज ऑलवेज इन फ्रॉम डेल्यूजन टू कन्विक्शन अंडरस्टैंडिंग, फ्रॉम द इग्नोरेंस टू द नॉलेज, from the wrong convictions to the right convictions, through the non-thinking to the authentic, well-guided thinking. And it is in me, and it is not to prove to anyone. It is for me, first of all, to transcend all these appearances and discover the self and revel in that, express that. If anybody comes to seeking guidance, we guide them. This is how it is. So, what is the meaning of this shloka? Literally, sarve dharmaha, all dharmas. Gneyani, it is said, no? What is to be gneya about it? Prakrutya akashavat. This way it is to be understood. and vidyate nahi nanatvam tesham kvachana kinchana. From that standpoint, little also, for any reason also, there is no nanatvam in that. It is one. It cannot divide it. It's like you can't write letters in the space. You can't make a drawing in the waters. We can put a rangoli of some things in a still water. वो भी थोड़ा फूंक दे तो चला जाता हो. But you can't make a drawing in the water. Can you write something in the space? You cannot, because it's such a thing that no pen or pencil works on it. As much hasyaspadam it is trying to write something in the space. So much is that in the self that something can happen other than it. That much is impossible. But so much loads of delusion, ignorance we have that we don't believe that and we don't live this. सब जीव का ऐसा हाल. और इनमें से एक आध बंदे surrender to Guru on the faith on Guru and Shastra, strength of faith on Guru and Shastra. He starts slowly listening, then believing, and then trying, then knowing. Lamba rasta. Now what Bhashyakara says, for some time we will see. He says Prakrutya means Swabhavataha. Swabhavaha means by nature. It is its nature. Swabhavataha prakrutya akashavatu means akashatulyaha. Just like akasha, compared to akasha. What is that? What is the akashavat means what? What are the qualities of the akasha are similar to that of the atma? That the akasha is taken as upamanam or example. There are the 3-4 words. Sukshma, second is niranjana, then sarvagatatva. Atma, the Akasha is Sukshma, Ati Sukshma. What is Sukshmata? That is more pervading, non catchable by any of the parameters or the perceivable sense objects. That's called as Sukshmata. ऑर्डिनरी इंद्रियों को अंतःकरण को जो नहीं दिखता है और जो सब जगह पे व्याप्त है उसको कहते हैं सूक्ष्मता. सूक्ष्म इज मोर परवेडिंग देन द स्थूल and non-seeable by the sthula indriya. So Akasha is Sukshma. And the Sukshma always is the container containing the sthula in that. Generally we think in the sthula the Sukshma is there. We always think inside as the mind is there, inside as the ego is there, inside the body. It's absolutely wrong. When you deeply think from Vedanta standpoint, it is the other way around. It is not that in me the mind is there, in the mind I am there. It is other way around. In me the mind is there, and me the mind mein ye deha hai. I am not in the body. It is only worldly way of saying. The body is in me. I am the container, the body is a content. और इसको expand करो तो I am such a container. The entire universe is a content in that. A thought. Universe is nothing but a thought. Thought रूपी container में whole world container है, content है. Thought रूपी container has the content called as entire world. Whole world is nothing but a thought. भाई एक वृत्ति है, देखा तो एक वृत्ति में सारे आ गए. Other are parts in that. Sukshma understood, not grahya by the indriyas, is akasha. But you can't say it is not there. Then a question will come, where are all these things hanging, this, all the grahas and all of us? You have to say that Akash hai, Sukshma. Now, याद रखना, आकाश को है करके एक्सेप्ट ही करना पड़ेगा intellectually. That's why it's called intellectual concept. And that is the Akasha is there. Listen carefully, next sentence. That is how the Akasha should be there. Then only it will contain all the things in it. If it is other way, it will not be useful. Like why the nostrils have to be like this? That is how they have to be. Then only the Hava can be taken inside. This is a question asked it is. Why the ears are there and kept there? That is how you can listen to the sound. So, in the same way, why the Atma is infinite and untouchable and Sachidananda? Because ऐसा हो तभी वो आत्मा हो सकता है. Why this military officer is like that? Means ऐसा है ही तो ही उनको officer कहते हैं. In the same way, why the Akasha is Sukshma? Means it has to be Sukshma. That is why it is Sukshma. Then only it will contain other things. And by your questioning or insistence or emotion, you are not going to change. How does it matter how much you are worried? वो आकाश रहेगा, सूक्ष्म रहेगा, उसमें स्थूल चीज लटकते रहेंगे. Your answer, your question, your objection, nobody will care it. You have to only see it and accept it. In that only there is safety. Like I look at you and see you and accept you. In that only there is safety. If I ask you, but why you are like that? Why can't you be like that? How to make you like that? These are all my own samsara I am creating. I have to look at you and accept you. And how peaceful it is. Is it not? It's over. The story khatam ho gaya wahan. If I try to change you, improve you, label you, name you, this is the inner samsara I am creating. You have no relation of that. आपको पता भी नहीं होगा कि मैं अपने मन में क्या संसार बना रहा हूँ. In the same way, you can't question about Akash. It is like that. So Sukshma, it is very subtle, subtle and sublime. It is all pervading. Not Indriya Gochara. Five Karmendriyas, you can't talk or hold on to them or anything you do. Five Jnanendriyas cannot perceive it. But one thing I said, it's a concept because it can't be real. Real is only consciousness. That consciousness is called Chidakasha. In that Chidakasha, in a particular moment of ignorance, the Chittakasha is created. In the grossification of Chittakasha at one time, the Bhutakasha is created. In the Bhutakashas are all the Bhutas are there, you and me. And in this Akasha, there is time. Akasha and time and space are relative things. Both are concepts only. And so infinitely looking concepts of time and space are so mini micro in the conscious self. You know, like for me, 100 years is a small time. But for a Chinti, from its standpoint, the 100 years of ours is like for us the Brahma Devas Mahakalpa. When we talk about Brahmadevas, how long he will live? 100 years? Each year 365 days? And every day 1000 Chaturyugas? How big it is for us. In the same way, you ask a GTR microbe, tell about me, 100 years I am living a human. उतना टाइम तुम जीते हो उसको क्योंकि वो एक सेकंड में मर जाता है जन्म लेके. From that standpoint, ours is huge. And go to Brahmadeva, you live such a, is what such आंख बंद करके खोला कल्प हो गया he says. You understand? When you go to the mind level, the time and space, all of them get shrinked or they get expanded. Because the concept of mind can shrink anything, expand anything. I'm just telling. Time and space have only concepts. How they are concepts, an idea is given, you contemplate on that. बट द स्पेस जैसे कॉन्सेप्ट है वैसा आत्मा कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है. डोंट टेक दैट एग्जाम्पल. दैट इज कॉन्क्रीट रियलिटी. सो लाइक स्पेस में सूक्ष्म, all pervading, unperceivable, but you have to accept its presence. So now with the help of the space only we can accept the presence of Paramatma. Because how do you know the space? Because I am conscious of it. Be attentive. I am conscious of space. Therefore, where is consciousness? It is overlapping even space also. So, space is a contentor, the consciousness is a container. And that conscious self cannot be other than me because I am always conscious of myself. So, this is how एक का 10 बार 100 बार contemplate करने से habit of contemplating on the self happens. That habit only leads to the removal of the other misconceptions. Then we go nearer and nearer to this reality, the self. One day it just clicks. Oh, this is what is the meaning of self. Once you experience it, you cannot explain it any other independent way. Any explanation you have to we have to do only as it is already done by the rishis in the Upanishads. नया कोई तरीका ही नहीं हो सकता उसका बताने का. I tell you the rishi munis are inefficient, they are not able to explain to me the self. I will discover the self. Then in a unique manner with PowerPoint presentation, I'll explain to the modern youth so that they can understand easily. ऐसा नहीं होता हो. Once you reach it from there, you will also be same आश्चर्यचकित, same flabbergasted, same helplessness. I can't tell. It's like shock. है ना. मैं एक बार शॉक लगा के बिजली का तब मैं मेरा अनुभव व्यक्त करता हूँ सो दैट अदर्स कैन अंडरस्टैंड. यू होल्ड इट द वायर एक आध मिनट, देन यू एक्सप्लेन, नाउ एक्सप्लेन इट. यू कांट. Sukshma means that. Okay, Sukshma. Second is what? Niranjana. Such a beautiful word this is, Niranjana. Give this name to your children or grandchildren, anybody. Yeah, apna badarlo, Swami Niranjanananda. Excellent. Anjana means lepana, stain, dhabba, spot, dot, dirt. In pure Paramatma, there is no Anjana. In space, first, space में कोई अंजन ही नहीं है. Means what? Two aspects. One is there is no thing which can touch the space. उसको spoil नहीं कर सकता. Second, how can it spoil when there is no thing other than space? When anything in the space tries to touch the space, that thing has to become so subtle to touch it. Once it becomes subtle to touch the space, it becomes one with the space. In the self also same thing. You try to know it, try to know it, try to know it. At the final moment of knowing it, you become one with it, that you can't say I have known it. Janata tumahi hoi jai. Therefore, there is no anjanam to the space. Means both ways. Ek to ordinary meaning hai, I am not telling it, you know it, that the water will not wet the space, the fire will not burn or heat up the space. Is it not the air will not dry it up? The earth in that doesn't give volume or weight to the space. That way, the space is not anjana or touched or spoiled by all these three, four contents in that space. This is the main meaning. The other meaning is what? Because for these to do something to the space, they have to be able to perceive it. To perceive the space or to touch the space, they have to become so subtle. Once they become subtle, they become one with the space, they can't touch. Therefore, Niranjanatvam. Same already simultaneously understand about the self also. As the space is Sukshma, so to the Atma is Sukshma. As the space is Niranjana, so do the Atma is Niranjana. No, this Niranjanatva of the Atma Vastu should give us this confidence and courage. And that confidence and courage of that aspect, we have to practice. And what is that? I am the Eka Niranjana Atma, none of the avidyas, none of the antakaranas, none of the modifications in them, none of the three avasthas born of these gunas can touch me. I am the Niranjana. This is the highest meditation. Because it's a fact. At one level, all other doings are gone. Only this much is there. I am Niranjana. Anupama alakha niranjanate. He jagadhata vishwavidhata. He sukha shanti niketanate. Wonderful is Niranjana space. You can't paint the space. You can't wash the space with throwing the water. You can't heat up it. You can't burn it. है ना? कुछ नहीं कर सकता. निरंजन है वो. What a beautiful thing. Because subtle cannot be touched by the grass. इसलिए the self in me, so interesting, is not touched by anything. Therefore, it is supporting everything and none of them can influence it. That's why the devil in me, whenever he is expressing, he is supported by same self. But he never becomes the devil. So to the divine sadhu in me, whoever is expresses once in a while, is also inspired by or is enlivened by the same self in me, supported by same self. But that is never become sadhu also. Is it not? Bad act I do, good act I do, bad thoughts come, good thoughts come. You just see the self in us. It is not becoming bad because bad thought, nor become good because good thought or action. Same way, when the sleep is happening, the self is not sleeping. When the dream is coming and going, so nothing is happening to the self. So to the waking is happening, nothing happens to the self. That is me. उसको हमें पकड़ना है. उसका स्वरूप चैतन्य है, सत्ता है. But even to believe in the presence of such thing, we have to come to one level of maturity. Clear? So, Atma hi Akashavatu means what? Prakrutya Swabhavata Akashavatu means Akasha Tulyaha means Sukshma. We explained Niranjana, we explained. Then third one is obvious, Sarvagatatva. It is everywhere permeated. Contemplate some time with the concentration on this space. It is sarvagata. It is all pervading and permeating. Same way is the self in every being. Though it's used as plural, but now it starts saying singular. The self in all of us. Is not my self in me permeating all the three avasthas? It is permeating. And in each avastha, from morning till night, it is permeating. And in that morning till evening, at every moment, whatever experience we have, in every experience, the self is there. In the experience, because experience is not possible without a experiencer, experiencer do, and experiencing go. In all these three also, the self is there. अब देखो. Now, after coming to this understanding, only two more things we have to understand. What is that? It is because importance given to them that the self is not seen. Therefore, when we totally devalue them, then we experience the self as self. In the three avasthas, self is there. But why the self is not experienced? We are overpowered by the importance given to three avasthas. So too, in the Jagrata avastha, everywhere self is there. But the importance is to Jagrata avastha, therefore we are not experiencing the self. So too, in every experience, self is there. But we are caught up in the triputi of the experience, therefore self is not seen. So what's meditation? Meditation is that highest occupation in which we are dropping this triputi of Jnata, Jnanam and Jnayam. Then discover that in whose presence these three were abhasa, were appearing. Either you say they are non-existence, or you say they have appeared, or you say they are interpolations, or they are interpretations of the same self. And as Pakka and perfectly said in Mandukya Upanishad about this, nowhere else it is said. In Mandukya only these three are said. One is Chittaspanda, second is Abhasa, third is Agraha. In this only every answer to the entire world is there. Because of Spandana of the Chitta, the Abhasa of the three avasthas is appearing, and that is also because of our own Avesha or Abhinivesha or Agraha. इतना बढ़िया कोई भी जगह पे दी जगत या तीन अवस्थाओं के बारे में नहीं बताया. One has to become deep in the understanding these three. That is Spandanam, it is Abhasam, and it is only our own Agraha. You understand? Means what? When you stop the Agraha, it goes away. When you accept it as Abhasa and drop it, it goes away. When you stop the Spandana, it goes away. Through Spandana, Abhasa and Agraha, it is appearing to be there, though it is not there. Three avasthas are appearing to be there because of Spandana and Abhasa and Agraha. Agraha is because of vasanas. Abhasa is given as reality, and you can never be stable without Spandana. Never लगातार एक के बाद एक अवस्थाएं उसमें अनुभव आ रहे जा रहे. We are never becoming aware of this self. As Pakka is said here by the Karikakar. But if you really understand heart of this Karikakar, na Gaudapadji, it is in fact only by his grace it will happen. But by somehow it happens, let's say, then you will see the world as ceasing to there. What is there only? Ekameva Dvayam Brahma. అలాగే होगा. So आत्मा ही आकाशवत और प्रकृत्या स्वभावतः आकाशवत आकाशतुल्या सूक्ष्म निरंजन सर्वगतत्वैहि सर्वे धर्माः आत्मानः ज्ञेयाः मुमुक्षुभिः. So all the mumukshus, to get the mukti, must understand that the self in him is like the space which is sukshma, niranjana and sarvagata. Then anadayaha means what? What is the meaning of anadaya? Another word. Prakrutyakashavadgneyaha sarve dharma anadaya, he said. Karikakara. Bhashakar says anadaya means nityaha. What is nitya? Transcending the time. Nitya is not time. Nitya is self. Self, not seen as self, appears of time, gathering the nityata of the time. Then for your and my convenience, that the time is broken into three: past, future, and present. First it is taken as present, then with respect to present, the past and future are imposed on the time. Time is linear thing actually. Now anyway, contemplation on the time is a different experiment altogether. So anyway, nityaha, that is the meaning of the anadaya means. So now you said sarve dharmaha plural. That means in everybody one atma is there or what? No, 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 no. Bahuvachana kruta bheda ashankam nirakurvan aha. To remove the doubt which may come listening to the bahuvachana that really there are many atma, this is said. What is what? Kvachana kinchana. Kvachana means by no direction, no means or reason. Kinchana means even little also. Kinchid means anumatramapi tesham cha. In all the cells, vidyate nanatvam, that the manyness is there. Is it not? All the waves are basically waters. And in the waters, there is not even iota of difference. So, if you understand this English, then you understand what is said by him. All the waves are, in essence, waters. So, from the manyness of wave you are seeing, and therefore saying the waters as plural actually. And in the waters, there are no differences. So, is to remove the difference expression of the waters. ऐसे थोड़ी है कि दो पानी तीन पानी होते हैं, पानी एक ही होता है. You say bring waters, we say, but there are no many waters. Water एक ही होता है. In the same way, the selves are not two or not many from their oneness nature standpoint. So to like Akash. Though Akash, in the Gada, there may be many Akash. That is because of pots of the walls of the pot, or walls of the hall. The space in bedroom, space in dining room, space in the kitchenette. But it's not real. It's one only. Therefore, Prakriti Akashatniya Sarve Dharma Anadaya. Then Nai Nanatvam Tesham Kvachana Kinchana Vidyate. No any sort of manyness difference is there in that self. But that self now is because many upadhis, identification with each upadhi appearing to be individualized individualities. And this individualization only is causing all tadatma with upadhi and all the samsara of ragadvesha. ये बड़ा सब्जेक्ट है, I tell you, these have to be day in and day out contemplated. Then only the depth of understanding comes to us. Tab slowly the truth starts revealing. Okay. Sarvam Krishnarpanam Ramarpanam. Now we'll stop today. Tomorrow we'll see. ओम आदि बुद्धा प्रकृतेव सर्वे धर्माः सुनिश्चिताः यस्यैवं भवन्ति क्षान्ति सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते आदि शान्ताः ह्यनुत्पन्नाः प्रकृतेव सुनिर्वृताः सर्वे धर्माः समाभिन्नाः अजं साम्यं विशारदं वैशारद्यं त्वयि नास्ति भेदे विचरतां सदा वेदनिम्नाः पृथग्वादाः तस्मात् ते कुर्वणाः स्मृताः अजय साम्ये तु एकेचित् भविष्यन्ति सुनिश्चिताः ते हि लोके महाज्ञानाः तच्च लोको न गाहते अजयश्वचमसङ्क्रान्तं धर्मेषु ज्ञानमिष्यते यतो न क्रमते ज्ञानमसङ्गं तेन कीर्तितम् अणुमात्रेऽपि वैधर्म्ये जायमाने विपश्चितः असङ्गता सदा नास्ति किमुत आवरणच्युतिः अलब्धावरणाः सर्वे धर्माः प्रकृतिनिर्मलाः आदौ बुद्धास्तथा मुक्ताः बुध्यन्तेति नायकाः क्रमतेन हि बुद्धस्य ज्ञानं धर्मेषु तायिनः सर्वे धर्मास्तु अज्ञानं नैतद्बुद्धेन भाषितं दुर्दर्शमतिगम्भीरम् अजं साम्यं विशारदं बुद्ध्वा पदम् अनानात्वं नमस्कुर्मो यथा बलम् इति गौडपादिकारिका सहिता माण्डुक्य उपनिषदि चतुर्थम् अलाथ शान्ति प्रकरणम् ओम 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 ओम. Just spend the day in the memory of Lord Rama as well as the Atma Rama. More thoughts about it, more inquiry about it. If it is Lord Rama, more memory of the Lord, more of the more upasana of the Lord, more and more offering and surrendering to the Lord. More than all these things, prayer to the Lord. O Rama, may I experience your tattva. His tattva is tattva of everyone or everything. O Rama, may I have the darshan of your leelas. may see the entire happening in the universe, cosmos, as your own play, your own Leela. For firm conviction, O Lord, please give me your darshan. Remember, even when the Lord gives darshana, the conviction is there, but not again permanent, because final permanent conviction will be there only the Lord as our own self. If the Lord comes on your call 10 times and goes away, he will become as familiar as neighbor only to you. Then you don't value him. इसलिए तत्व रूप से ही राम का हमें अनुभव करना है. ठीक है. नाउ वी विल डू अवर लिटिल ऑफ मांडुक्य उपनिषद. ओम सॉरी अवर विदुर नीति. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परब्रह्मणे नमः श्रुतिमात्रेण मंडूकमर्षे गौडपादाचार्यवर्याय आद्य शंकरद्गुरवे नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. थैंक यू.